What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about what we should be expecting for this Marvel's Avengers war table. So this is happening later today, actually in just a few hours by the time you guys are seeing it. Very, very exciting. Really quickly, let's go over. Now, they've given us a little bit. They've given us a couple of quick, words of what we're going to be expecting at this thing. And they say, this was from a couple days ago, 3 days until Marvel's Avengers war table debuts with hero missions, war zones, and much more. Now, those are going to be very cool. I think that, when I was expecting this, when they first announced this, the number one thing, and it still is, by the way, the number one thing that I'm expecting is the beta. They need to announce when the beta is coming out. This is a lot later than I expected for this beta's announcement. I really thought it would be a little bit earlier, and it really, what's going to be interesting is to see when it happens. Does it happen in early July? This game comes out in just over 2 months, like very little over 2 months, right? And so they don't have a lot of time. Obviously, betas, alphas, trials, whatever the developer chooses for their specific game, they normally do happen relatively close to when the game comes out. So obviously, this game comes out very, very early September. So maybe sometime in late July, early August is when we would get this. It's going to be interesting. I really, again, from my personal, just opinion, that's what I'm number one expecting. I think the rest of it honestly sounds really, really cool, being able to see these hero missions. This is going to be, a really big day today for Marvel's Avengers. There are people, including myself, that are very, very excited for this game, but insanely skeptical. I think even people in my own community, on this channel, on Podcast Now, we have a Discord server, everywhere that I see people talking about Marvel's Avengers, and I've made videos, talking about my concerns about this game. There are a lot of people, even the ones that are ready for it and going to buy it day one, again, including myself, that are concerned. I mean, the game does not look like a masterpiece. The game looks like it's going to have a lot of problems. The game still has a lot to prove. Now, does that mean the game is going to come out and be a disaster? No. They announced the PS5, the free upgrade version yesterday, and that was awesome. That was absolutely, actually, I think it was 2 days ago when you guys are seeing this. That's great. That's something that I had hoped for, but because they didn't really talk about it, nobody was talking about it, I didn't know if it was going to happen. I'm really happy about that. So they've made some right moves. These hero missions, sounds like they're going to be talking more about the multiplayer aspect. Because remember, the multiplayer is a really, really big part of this game. You're going to have the single player story, you're going to have that, but you're also going to be able to play with friends, play as different heroes, go around, complete quests, complete objective, whatever they're going to call it, and go from there. So there are going to be a lot of multiplayer elements in this game, and ultimately, when it comes to a beta, you have to think that that's probably what it's going to be, right? It could technically just be the the A day or whatever they called the bigger 18-minute gameplay thing. If it's just that, that would be pretty interesting in the wrong way. But when I think of what the beta for this game is going to be, I do think multiplayer. I think some sort of a group effort of doing some sort of quest where you'll be able to play as a couple different people. I'm sure they'll announce new things that we haven't even heard of yet. It's going to be exciting. It's going to absolutely be exciting. It's a day that a lot of people, again, I think are really, really looking forward to, that we're all going to keep our eyes on, because again, they have a lot to prove, and the game, again, the game comes out very, very soon, but it does have a mystery to it. We know a good amount, actually, and because I know I've said this before in past videos and people will sometimes get mad, we do know a great deal about this game. We know characters, we know what we're going to be doing, we know a lot about what the interface looks like. We know about just a lot of things. We know there's going to be the multiplayer and some of the things of how that works, the single player, how some of the things of that work. I mean, we do know quite a bit about this game, but at the same time, I don't honestly know if we know enough. We do know a lot, but this to me is an example of a game that needs to show more. This is not a game that, for what they've already shown so far, I don't think it's really deserved or has literally been granted our full-on trust. You know what I mean? Again, even the people like myself that are going to get it day one, pre-ordered it, are going to play the beta, all these people, even them, I really don't think they're going to be all that, blind faith. We talk about that a lot, The Last of Us Part 2, what Naughty Dog could have ruined going forward. I think up until this point with Last of Us Part 2, there has been blind faith. Now, is that a bad thing? No, they've earned it. They earned it with Uncharted. They earned it with The Last of Us. They earned, like, okay, it's a pretty solid guarantee that it's going to be a really good game. Now, with what's happened in The Last of Us Part 2, they've kind of lost that. For Marvel's Avengers, it's kind of the reverse of that, where it's like this is not from a studio that's made just the greatest games of all time, and even if they did, it's not even that, because this is such a different game, right? And because it's Marvel, because it's Avengers, it's going to have a different look. It's going to have people looking at it very, very differently. So even if the developers, let's say, made like the greatest games in the history of gaming over the past, like, say, decade, and then they made this game, it would still be something where I don't know if you can just give it to them, because it is so vastly different. Okay, and again, this is a game that, from what we've already seen so far, doesn't just like, the entire thing isn't just filled with confidence. You know what I mean? So it's going to be really interesting. They have a lot to prove here. But with that being said, I know I'm a little down on this game. I'm talking about it in a negative way. I want this game to be. It's not like I want this game to be bad. I want this game to be very, very good. Again, I'm getting it day one. I'm going to be playing it. I can't wait to play it. I really want it to be a fantastic game. I think it can be. I think it has the things in it to be. But at the same time, I'm a little worried. But for this War Table event, I think it's going to be really, really fun. Again, beta is like the number one thing for me. Obviously, there's going to be the other things discussed. And I think, again, a very important day, because we're going to learn about these different online things. I think it scares me. I'm sure it scares other people too, of like, just how is this going to work? How are things going to be set up? I think today's the day we get all that. And I think that is exciting. It's exciting going into it. We'll have to see how they handle it once they talk about it. You know what I mean? So, guys, let me know in the comments below. What are you expecting from this War Table? Are you expecting the beta's release date? Are you worried about this game? All of your thoughts, let me know in the comments below. I'm going to be covering it on podcast now. Once they do this War Table, we'll have a video over there talking about it. There'll be more videos as the days go on. And then obviously when the beta releases, we'll do something on that as well. Okay, so lots of Avengers videos going forward on both of these channels. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed, have the bell icon turned on, and I will see you all on tomorrow's video.